Yeah, very exciting, big game for us. Our first home conference game of the year, coming off 3 straight road games against, I think, one of our, I guess if you'll say rivalry games that we've kind of had here in the last couple of years against Western Kentucky. Obviously, some history with them over the past 2 years. Coming off two good wins on the road, I'm very excited to be back here in Bartow, playing against a good Western team and hopefully continuing on the momentum and positive emotion that we had from the last weekend. So,
how can that carry over? Because you guys won. I mean, those games came pretty much down to the wire in Texas, and you guys were able to pull it out.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly, but as a player and as a coach, when you get to experience the winning, especially in the way we won, and I thought especially offensively in the second half of that Rice game, we moved the basketball, we made shots, we got out and ran a little bit, scored some points. So I'm hoping, I think that feeling, we've had 2 good practices, but that feeling has to carry over here now when we get in our home building here tomorrow night with hopefully what will be one of the best crowds I'm hoping of the season.
What made you change the starting lineup at the point guard spot, putting Denzel in there?
Yeah, I think it was just to give us a different look. I thought starting Denzel, as everyone knows, Denzel's a senior. He's been here for a long time. He's been a really good player in our program. I thought the timing was the important thing. I thought he was ready. Denzel's been sick, a little banged up prior to the Texas road swing, and I also thought it could help Dion take some pressure off him of being the point guard, playing him a little bit more off the ball, which we did last game. I thought it could help both guys. I think it has helped both guys, and I think it's been good for our team.
So what are kind of those 2 guys? What do their roles look like now going forward?
I think we're going to continue with what we've been doing the last weekend. Of Denzel's going to start, Dion's going to play a lot of minutes. They're both going to be big-time contributors. Denzel's been shooting the basketball extremely well and extremely confident. I think he's taking care of the basketball. The guys know him. I think that's one of the big things. They have a feel for how Denzel plays. Dion, I think, again, we still have a lot of season to play, but Dion's going to, in the short term, come off the bench and play point guard, play off the ball, and we need Dion to play confident and play as good as he played last weekend, especially on Saturday, and I think this has helped him a little bit.
You talked about the rivalry with WKU. I know it's a new season. I know it's a new coach there for WKU, but, I mean, is that something that the guys going into this game are seeing WKU, which is the team from last season?
I think 100%. There's some familiar faces on that team. There is some new players as well. It is a new coach, but I think it still says Western Kentucky, across the front of their jerseys. And our guys, I think, still have a clear, fresh in their mind what happened last year. And we talked about we don't need a lot of motivation for this game. There doesn't need to be a lot of rah-rah speeches, especially for our returning players and our seniors and juniors and guys that experienced last year. And to their credit, they beat us here in Birmingham to end our conference tournament, whatever play. And I think our guys are excited about, definitely excited naturally about getting out here and giving them a little bit of payback in a big first conference home game.
You mentioned when you came in the block initiative, obviously raise awareness of the shoes in seasons past, but actually raising funds. How important is that? How cool is that to actually, and not that raising awareness isn't contributing.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think it's an awesome concept. We, for the past 2 years, we wore different color shoes. This year we wanted to do something different, like how can we take this to the next level? Obviously blocking Ham and all the block shots, so we came up with this concept of we're going to donate money based on the amount of block shots we have. The unique cool thing is all of our players, when we told them about it, they wanted to jump in on it. So for conference season, all of our players are donating $1 for every block shot that the team has. It's a unique way where block shots have obviously been really good for us, and myself included, I'm happy to and proud to be able to donate to the Gene Bartow Memorial Cancer Fund, which is dear to our program, and it's right here, the UAB Cancer Center on our campus, which is world renowned. So it's a cool initiative, and I think it's a cool way for our program and kids and myself and our coaches to give back.
It's 2 different seasons, but like you said, a lot of the same players from both teams. Do you kind of feel like Western maybe played with a little bit more of an edge in that conference tournament game?
100%. Yeah, I think our guys will admit it. I think we were on such a roll then. I think we had won there the year before. They played like the more hungry team last March when we played them in the BJCC. I fully expect that to be reversed come tomorrow night. I expect us, and they're a good team. They're going to come out and play hard, but I expect us to be extremely hungry and ready to attack tomorrow.
Any signs in practice? You know, they always practice hard or whatever,
Yeah.
but I mean, is there anything going into this game? It's a regular season game, but they know who's up.
I think there's been a high level of energy the last 2 days, partly because it's Western Kentucky, partly because it's our first home game. But to be honest, also I think it's because of coming off last weekend, 2 emotional wins where we played hard, where we overcome adversity. That's carried over, in my opinion, to 2 really good practices. The opponents playing Western and Marshall this weekend, I think, just add to that. Two of the top 4, 5, 6, whatever top teams in our league this weekend at our home, in our home building.
How do you handle Justin Johnson this time around? He railed out last game.
Yep, he's a really good player. He's going to be a matchup, for us that we're going to have to do really well. We're going to try to be physical with him, have multiple guys different guard him, try to this time around use our athleticism better. He has very good footwork in the paint. He likes to shot fake, and he's very quick for his size. We're going to have multiple guys guard him, and I think be physical with him and use our length, try to bother some of those shots.
It means a lot to us, they ended our season last year. Well, they didn't end it, but they ended the NCAA tournament dreams that we had, and it's still fresh in our minds. So everybody's amped up, and ready to go at them and, get some payback from last year.
What in that particular game? And I know it's 2 different seasons, but it's a lot of the same players. How much? What kind of happened? I mean, it seemed like you snap your fingers and that they had a pretty insurmountable lead in the game.
Yeah, I just think we're comfortable. We won there before, and we were on a winning streak, and I mean everything was just going good for us. And to be honest with you, they just came in and they outplayed us, and they played a lot harder than us, and I mean they fought and they won the game. So
Just kind of make you think about how to approach games, not just against them, but pretty much any game going forward when you're on a streak.
of course, any game you just gotta always remember, what it took to get there, and do everything and play as hard as you can, and do whatever you can to get the win.
Does your mentality, I mean, obviously it changes, whether you're starting or coming off the bench. Just talk about, I guess, getting used to the energy coming out when you're there on the court to start the game.
I just, Isan talked to me about it, and he explained to me what was going to happen, and, just from my mindset, our team, we needed some leadership, and we needed, somebody who can, get us going, and I just took it upon myself, just to take this role and do the best I can at it and push my teammates and, get them positive and get them going. And I feel like that helped us a lot in those 2 wins on the road.
You're willing to serve whatever role, this team needs, but I mean, are you more comfortable with one or the other? Are you more comfortable starting? Are you more comfortable coming off the bench? Is there?
I don't have a preference, it's just whatever coach needs me to do is, what I've been trying to do all my years, since I've been here. Whatever the team needs, I'm willing to step up and take charge and do whatever I got to do to lead us.
How different is it setting the tone from the beginning as a starter rather than being that spark off the bench?
It's different, you start warming up, and then you're ready to go from that point on, and then you sit on the bench and you kind of calm down, I guess you could say. So it's different, warming up and being ready to go, and then from that, from when the buzzer sounds, stepping out there, just being amped up and ready to go.
We might make more of this stuff than you guys do. We probably do, but I mean, is there a pride thing? I mean, to being a starter? I mean, that's something that some people, I'm sure.
Yeah, not with me, I guess, because me and Dion have a really good relationship, and we don't really care who's starting or whatever. We just honestly just want to do the best thing to help. And me and Dion talk all the time. Even when he was starting, I would give him things that I saw, just from being on the bench that he probably didn't see, and he talks to me and pushes me. So it's not really a pride thing.
Your role has changed in the last week or so. It also changed at about halftime of the first game of the season when Dick went down.
Yes.
Go back and sort of talk about how much it has changed for you this year from what you were thinking maybe before the season started, where you are now.
Yeah, it was, a red shirt, so I was thinking that I would have a year to do a lot of things and further my game and then come back and play. And then, you know, that happened and had a couple conversations and decided, you know, not to redshirt. And then it was coming off the bench was fine and, you know, just playing my role. And then now I'm starting point guard. So it's changed a lot, but, I mean, I've just stayed level-headed through it all, and I've always trusted Coach Isan's plan. And, you know, it's just working out really good, and I can't complain about it.
How hard is it to flip that switch and have to get back into not just practice shape, but game shape?
Yeah, it was actually really tough. I have to credit a lot of credit to Brandon Spade. We did a lot of workouts, a lot of conditioning, and just a lot of things. And also, you know, Kevin Devitt, he's like the mentor for me here, and just doing a lot with them, and it got me back into shape a lot faster, you know, than I expected, and I mean, it's worked out for me.
You might have already answered this, but I guess just when you're getting ready for the game, when you're going through the pregame and stuff like that, is it the same thing that you've always been doing when you knew you were coming off the bench or starter? Or do you change a little bit?
Yeah, you definitely have to change. You know, you have to be more focused because, like I said, as soon as the buzzer sounds, you're stepping out there. Opposed to when I, you know, came off the bench, I was able. Obviously, I went to hard and warm-ups and all that, but I was able to see how the game flows and evaluate some things before I stepped out there. So now it's just I got to be ready for anything, you know, that comes at me, and, you know, and be ready to punch back.